Welcome back, everybody, to my Jujutsu Kaisen spoiler review. As you see at the bottom, spoiler alert for everything in this episode, guys. Anime spoilers only. So all you lovely manga readers, please don't come in here and give any manga spoilers. I've inadvertently still been spoiled by TikToks and Instagrams and stuff like that, so I know some stuff that's like further down the line, but I'm still pretty in the dark about the Shibuya incident, which is what we are on. And boy, do we just get into it. So I'm just gonna get into it in this episode. I've got my notes in front of me. I've got names written down, because anytime I do like notes on my phone, it like autocorrects to, you know, an English word when I'm trying to spell out a Japanese name, and it's just all the mess. So I'm gonna try. Got my notes right here. So the episode is called Evening Festival. I'm calling it episode 2, even though I know it's episode 7, and then it's episode 31. Like, I'm just gonna call it episode 2 because for me, this is a brand new season, brand new arc. It's 18 episodes. This is a full season of television. So we pick up right where we left off with Mekamaru fighting Mahito, and boy, did this live up. I didn't even know this fight was going to happen, but with the way last episode ended, just, oh my gosh, I was not ready for the level of animation. I've rewatched season 1 a million times. I've rewatched 0 a million times. I love what they've done with Attack on Titan. I'm super excited to see what they've done, what they're gonna do with One Punch Man, because I have read the One Punch Man manga, and what is coming in the Monster Association arc, that is gonna blow everyone's minds if you guys have kept up with that. Holy crap. But man, pay these, I put this in my notes for later on, like at the end of this fight, but I'm gonna say it again. Pay these animators, man. Like, everyone's going on strike right now, and justifiably so. And I know that the anime illustrators, animators, like, they are getting paid like $8.50 an hour or something like that. That's insane. While I'm very happy for the content that I'm getting and the years that I've waited for these stories, I'd definitely be willing to wait longer, patiently or impatiently, for these people to get the wages that they deserve. More than deserve, because of what they're giving to us. And, you know, I'm same with the actors and the writers. So animators are definitely on that list. They should go on strike. They should. I don't know how Japanese unions work at all, but they need to get paid a lot more. It is insane the level of skill and talent these guys have, and I just love it so much. This is what I do love about anime, is that they walk you through power scaling, and they walk you through techniques and stuff like that with like narration. And so even my big dumb monkey brain, big dumb caveman brain, that still gets lost. Like, I've watched this episode twice, and all the stuff about, I literally put in my notes, this is where my understanding of domains and techniques go, and that's literally how I still feel after watching this episode twice. But they do their best, and someone with an average IQ, which is not me, probably understands this very well. But I love how they put like a timer, like a numerical thing on the clock. Was it like 17 years and 8 months of cursed energy that Mech has? And like, he uses the, 1 year first blast, and then he uses 2 years for like his second blast, and then he uses 5 years first third. I'm like, oh my god, that's 8 years right there. He's only got 9 years left. Like, this fight is still going on, but he has obviously planned this out. Like, he's obviously a very smart person. Now, is his betrayal and all the deaths that he caused, I don't know, he's not a great guy to get, like, his normal body, his healed body back. But he's definitely planned this out, and I do like that. I like that, and I said that last week, where I like that he wasn't like, oh my gosh, this evil curse user in this actual special grade curse betrayed me. Oh no. Like, we love you, Junpei, but you're a simple boy, and we love you so much, and we miss you. Rest in peace. Human Earthworm 4, that was in your memory. I love Mahito. Like, it's such a satisfying fight, and it's such a good thing putting Mahito in the first fight, because he is obviously the most hated, like, adversary of Jujutsu Kaisen. After we had Zero, it might have been Geto. and we knew that he wasn't actually dead because that's a prequel. So it might have been Geto with like all the shenanigans he got up to. But after premature death arc, you're like, oh wow, I'm feeling sorry for Geto and I don't like it, but I love him and the stuff he went through, it's tough. So Mahito is definitely enemy number one, public enemy number one, and man. Him shape-shifting, he's dodging, he's doing his big thunder fist and punches Mech. And then when Mech hits him with his domain darts, I'm going to just call them domain darts. He hits him with the domain dart, his arm explodes, and then he just lands a giant Pacific Rim robot fist to his face. And then he just does the anime like, dome, as he's like flying through all the layers of the earth. Oh my god. Oh, Chef's Kiss. I loved it so much. I've watched it on replay. Like, I can't wait for the TikTok anime edits of this punch. It was just so good. It was just so good, everybody. I loved it. And again, I know, even like without the opening, without the anime spoiler opening that we always kind of get, I know that Mechamaru isn't going to be the one that beats Mahito. Just story-wise, I've seen a million stories, comic book, action movies, revenge stories. I know, unless you are the Coen brothers and this is No Country for Old Men, I know Mahito is not going to be beat by a C-level main character that we really don't know much about besides what he talked about to Panda in the school battle arc. But man, that punch felt so good. Oh, I hate Mahito so much. But after that, where Mahito like transforms into like Hawkman basically, and is like flying, and that's when Mech uses 5 years worth of cursed energy, and you see it just full flying, and that whole kind of one take of him transforming into like a rabbit, a bird, a badger, a monkey, like all these different things to escape this laser beam, and it ends up like, I don't think he gets hit by his own beam, but like Mahito sneaks up behind him, does like his arm blade thing, and cuts off like what, I don't know what the power cables are for because it's powered by cursed energy. I think it maybe just looks cool. I don't know, but he cuts the power cables, but then Mech hits him one more time, and as he's going for the final kind of kill shot with his next domain dart, Mahito uses his domain expansion and traps him, which, like, you can see how much more powerful Mahito has gotten since season 1 because of all his animal transformations, the way he's able to just, like, you know, when he's fighting Nanami and Itadori, like, he's trying new things and a lot of them aren't working. He's just going against, like Nanami is powerful. He's a grade 1, but his technique doesn't go up against Mahito's. Like, he can't damage his soul, and that's the only way you can kill Mahito is by damaging his soul. It's not just like a regular special grade curse where you can just beat the crap out of them and eventually you'll exorcise them or, you know, crush their head, as Toto says. But he was going against, you know, Itadori, who's like, he's a grade 1, but it was like his first mission, like second mission basically, after being resurrected from the dead, and didn't have much cursed energy and didn't really know how to use it. But ever since then, like, you can see how much more powerful he is with all of his shape-shifting, with all of, like, hitting Mech in the face and being able to, like, literally almost topple over a full giant size Pacific Rim Mech with this fist. And then how huge his domain is, where we saw it in the first season. Like, it was good enough to trap Nanami, but it was not as big as it is in this thing. And maybe, like, the domain size is, like, just relative. It's like, if you get trapped in it, your whole body is trapped in it, and it's not, like, an actual size thing. I don't know how that works. Big caveman brain over here. But he thinks he's won. And, you know, he says later on that he had kind of planned for this, and I want to say he's just kind of talking out of his butt right there. Sorry, I'm trying not to cuss. But Mechamaru manages to hit him with another domain dart using Miwa's simple domain that we saw in the school battle arc, where, you know, she uses like, it's like a kind of like a 3-foot circle radius that anything that comes into it, she can hit with her sword. We saw it in Zero. We saw Itadori dodge it, and we saw Maki kind of overcome it by like, oh, you've got the domain there, let me just throw something at you. You have to cancel your domain to hit that, and that's it. But he uses that, and that's why I think like Miwa's gonna do some damage in Shibuya. I'm pretty like they have to show up, like the Kyoto school has to show up, or maybe they don't, honestly. But I know Toto's in the opening credits, and it would be a waste of not having Toto and Itadori be back together, the Bash brothers. But turns out, like I said, that Mahito, at the moment where he gets stabbed with the domain dart, he like splits himself apart, which is like another power scaling thing of how much more powerful and better with his powers he's gotten. Splits apart, and I love that Mechamaru like turns to Geto and says, no more sitting on the sidelines, it's me and you now, I can do this. And it's like the typical anime, I can do this, I'm gonna do it. And then, you know, at the last second, he gets hit by Mahito, and I love the animation of him powering up to shoot Geto, it turning into Miwa, and then the glass shattering as Mahito hits him. And he gets hit. He's got one more card up his sleeve, which is another bot that jumps in front of him, takes all the hits as he's going to stab him with another domain dart. And I love the simple way they did it, of like you see the robot, you know, like hitting all the hands away, all the Mahito hands. That reminds me a lot of like Chainsaw Man, that devil with like the sewed off eyes that Aki fights. I love that. And just like the simple illustration of like one hand going past the defense, and that's all you kind of need to know that Mechamaru lost. And obviously like they're walking, and he's like, oh yeah, I had it in control the whole time. You wonder how much cursed energy that took, because he said, oh, I've got 10 days to rest, so I'll be back to full strength by then. And it's probably true. We don't see Mechamaru actually die, and I feel like in this anime you would. Like, this isn't like My Hero Academia or something like that. You know, I was rewatching My Hero, and like one of the heroes gets like trapped. He's like, what's gonna happen to him? He's like, oh, he probably is gonna die, but they don't show it. And I had to Google it. I was like, did this hero die? And he had. But I don't think Jujutsu Kaisen's like that, so I don't know if he's dead. I mean, I'd be very surprised if Geto and Mahito weren't, like, you know, very particular. Like, okay, this guy could ruin our entire plans with all of the pacts we made and everything like that, so we have to make sure he's dead. But them not showing it's real strange for me. So I'm just keeping that little bookmarked right there, that, like, maybe he's not dead. I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. He could be just dead and they just didn't show it because they didn't want to... I don't know, but... yeah, this thing, I couldn't even think of a reason of why they wouldn't show it, especially after, like, the fight we just had. But anyways. Great fight. And then this is what I'm talking about, where, like, we just get into it. Like, I was expecting, like, oh, we'd go back to the school, we'd talk about, like, oh, like, you know, I wonder where Mechamaru is. And we do have that scene with Miwa. She must be protected at all costs. I love me some Miwa. She's the best. Of her being like, I want to come visit you. And it's just like, maybe they did that instead of showing him die, just like kind of like twisting that heart knife right there of like, oh man. And I love that they referenced the baseball game, because maybe that felt like a filler episode after like a lot of great action that we had. But you see that, oh no, it really was like a good team building exercise. Like, Gojo really knows what he's doing as a teacher. He might be very unorthodox and like, oh, maybe I'm not going to explain like what Jujutsu High is to Okotsu, but I'm a pretty good teacher when it comes to preparing my students for what they're going to go through as a sorcerer. So I like that. And so like, it's like, oh, baseball, fun episode, but no, it was like a team building exercise, and it seemed to work. She says like, we've really come together like since the baseball game, and you weren't able to be there. Because, like, you know, you were being repaired, but I want to come visit you. And I thought that was a nice little moment. But that's when we jump straight to an abandoned Shibuya square. Just like no one on the streets, which is a real rare thing, especially during Halloween. And that's when the narrator says like a 400 meter in diameter veil was dropped around Shibuya. And then we cut back to like right before it happens, see people partying. And then one girl like spots the veil in the sky, and I'm wondering like, oh, maybe she got a little cursed energy. I don't know how that works of like who can see what when it comes to curses and stuff. But the veil drops. Regular people, like, you know, like some guy's running and just gets hit by the veil and like, whoa, there's a wall here? What the heck is going on? And so the rules of this veil is that sorcerers can come and go. Regular people can apparently walk into the veil but can't leave the veil. And over by a train station, I should have written the locations down, but I didn't. I apologize. Over by one of the train stations, you just see like a huge group of people just get sucked like down into a train station, and that happens with like no music and no soundtrack, and it's very, very frightening. And it's just like, oh, it felt like it's very War of the Worlds, where just like a bunch of people just die. I don't know if they're dead, but just the whiplash of your body flying through the air, wherever they landed, it probably wasn't something soft, so it was very scary. And then we've got 3 teams, or the groups, or teams, groups, whatever. We got Team Nanami. It is Nanami, Takuma Ino, and Megumi. And Takuma is the beanie guy that we saw in season 1 in the sewers. And Nanami was like, oh, if you do this, I'll recommend you for grade 1. And it says next to his name up for evaluation for, he's grade 2, but he's up for a promotion. And obviously, so is Megumi. Team Zenin, which is now Bito Zenin, which he is a special grade 1 sorcerer, Maki Zenin, and Nobara. And I'm wondering how that interaction between like a leader of the Zenin clan and Maki is going to go, because it says grade 4, but under review for promotion. And that is obviously a leader of the Zenin clan who probably doesn't like Maki because she's a woman with no cursed energy, a double negative in their eyes. So I'm wondering how that interaction is going to go. I am kind of excited to see like another special grade sorcerer in action, but very curious to see that. Like, that's like the most interesting team to me. Like the best looking team, I mean, Maki and Nobara I love, but I mean, it's not Nanami and Megumi and Takuma, obviously. And then the third team we've got is Team Panda. It says Team Kusakabe, but I'm going Team Panda because it's easy for me to say. It is Atsuya Kusakabe, and we saw him a little bit in Zero, where it's actually Ino and Kusakabe, and he's like, oh man, I wish Nanami was here to see me so I can get a promotion. And he's like the guy with like he's like a very neo-noir sorcerer, which I'd love to get some side stories with him, because it'd be like, this dame walked in and she said she had a cursed spirit following her. I don't know, she had legs that go all the way up, but so did the curse that was behind her, like something like that, like some Humphrey Bogart looking guy. I want to see some like side stories, some fanfic with him. But they say that they want a minute. They're waiting outside. All of them they're at different locations all at the same time. Again, I'm sorry that I didn't write the locations down. They're all waiting at different locations outside the veil because, one, the people are all the regular people inside are calling for Gojo Satoru, and obviously they don't know who that is, so they're kind of being like, I don't know if someone's like going like, hey, where's Gojo, like next to them in the crowd, or if like the cursed spirits are in there whispering to them and they obviously can't see them, so they're just like repeating what they hear and they can't get out. And also Kusakabe says that he doesn't want to go, like he knows he's gonna have to go back in there, but he doesn't want to because he feels like they're like, just like the weight feels like there's a lot of special grade curses in the train station and like in the train tunnels. And then the perfect, like we show a bunch of people kind of like panicking, like, where's this Gojo? I don't know who that is, but I just feel like he needs to show up. And then you see like a hand reach through, push it, like he accidentally pushes the guy down, and he goes, oh, sorry. And 2031, which is 10:31 p.m., Gojo Satoru arrives, and that's where we cut off. And it's just like, what a perfect, like, I hate it. I want the whole season out right now. I don't know if I could binge it because it feels like this is going to be an emotional roller coaster, but it's just like, what a perfect ending for this. And like, I know I'm not ready, but man, this was so good. Like, I did not think we were going to get right into it. And granted, I know how anime works. I'm an anime newbie. I mean, I watched Attack on Titan like in 2013, but that was kind of it. And I was like trying to search for something that like leveled that, but I couldn't find it. But just like, I know that they tell like 22 minutes has never gone by faster than when you're watching anime. Like it just goes by so fast, and you feel like not a lot got accomplished, but I feel like they got a lot accomplished there. We had a big, amazingly animated fight, and then we went right into it. There was no like filler here. You got everything is like vital information of like explaining like why they can't call out, why cell phone signal is being interrupted, why the regular people can't get out but the sorcerers can't get in. They can't break the veil, so they said it would be easier to find the curse user doing the veil, and they literally say beat him up. I think that's funny. But man, it's a great episode. Sorry, another 20-minute review from my rambling caveman brain, but man, I really am trying not to just be like some simp for this anime, but everything they're doing is just so good, and this is rivaling. Like, I love me some Demon Slayer. Last season, I wouldn't say I was disappointed with last season, but it wasn't on par as Entertainment District Arc was, or Mugen Train. But like, this is rivaling Attack on Titan for me with storytelling and tension and just anticipation and character love. Like, we've had one season, and I'm so invested in our trio, and you know, even Panda and Inumaki, like all of them, and Maki, and like the whole of the Tokyo class is so good. And then I'm obviously like loving Miwa, and I love like Megamaru. Like, I would never think like out of everyone like that we're gonna focus on him, but we did, and I'm like, nah. I don't want to say I understand what he's doing, but it's just like he had good intentions, and he was willing to do whatever he could to do it. It was, I don't know, like, if he's gonna come back. Is he dead? Did he not fulfill his mission? I don't know, but everything about this is working so far, and this is just so tough for me that, like, I'm a bartender, so I work all weekend, so the weekends don't go by fast. They go very slow. And so it's just like Thursday's just such a rough day for this to come out, because it's like the weekend, and then we got 4 more days in the week. I'm like, oh, man. But like I said in the first video, longest 18 weeks of my life. But you know what? It's already been like 22 minutes, guys. Thank you for anyone that stuck around. Honestly, you are the best, and you didn't need to be here, but I appreciate it. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Leave a like down below, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.